Hey guys, welcome to an Energetic Arts live video. Today we've got Andy Dennis as usual, and
Yo.
today's topic is the importance of the business owner's mindset in today's world climate. We're on a different platform today, so hopefully it works well. We don't get too many problems. If you want to join the screen and come into the dojo, feel free to click on the link and you can jump on and ask questions and have a chat, or you can also leave comments and react as usual. So let's get into it, Andy. Business owner's mindset. Why is it important in today's world climate from your point of view?
Uh, you should have sent me some questions previously to let me to let me ponder. Let me
All
think
right.
about that. So why is it important to me? I mean, that's to me that's
Yeah.
a big question. And then you look at today's climate. Why is it important in today's time? I think for me personally, it's about, that goes back to the thing we keep kind of touching on, which is like realizing freedom, right? And
Mm.
so, when we talk about, having a business owner's mindset, I guess I think about initially the first place that my mind goes to when I hear the topic and I hear that question is I think about, um, you know, okay, how do we create wealth, right? Because why is
Mm.
it important? So why is it important in today's climate to create wealth so that you can move from, if we look at everyone might be familiar with like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is at the very
Mm.
bottom is where we're looking for like food and shelter and our very most basic needs, right? So that we eventually can move to a place where we have um, self-worth, self-esteem, going up to eventually, self-actualization, right? So why
Yeah.
is it important to have a business owner's mindset? Because it will get you out of the shit and into
Mm.
we we all have 24 hours in a day, right? So how do we want to spend those 24 hours, right? So to before I go too far down the rabbit hole, I'll talk about, there's essentially four ways that we can create funds, that we can get money in our life. Yeah. One is we can either trade our time for money, yeah, for someone else, okay,
Mm-hmm.
which is called having a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably
Employee. Yeah.
you being an employee and being a cog in the machine of someone else's big vision, right? And you turn up and you do the work and you exchange
Yeah.
your time for money. So if there's 24 hours in a day, you decide, here's how many hours I have in the day that I'm going to trade for money. And then you kind of cap out at what you've managed to either negotiate with your boss or um, what's the minimum wage in your specific area at a time. Um, that's one way we can do it. Okay. The other way is to become self-employed, right? Self-employed. We do actually a similar thing. We trade our time for money, and we buy a job,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're essentially
We buy a job.
we buy a job. That's kind of what it is, right? You go, I'm self-employed. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a gardener, a landscaper. I'm a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker, right? Or I'm a tarot card reader,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm an XYZ, right? But I'm trading my
Mm-hmm.
time for money, right? So I'm doing the same thing. So now, if I don't like the boss, too bad. I'm stuck with him. right? But I'm trading my time for money
And if you
still.
stop working, the money stops coming in.
You stop working, you stop making money. Okay. Then you could be an investor, right? Is a possibility. This is where you use leverage, right? Where you take your money and um, is this a person that's
It's a good
watching?
question.
Alina Cork
Yeah.
asked if we would all be entrepreneurs, who would work for us? Alina, we probably can't all be entrepreneurs, right? And but before I go too far down my rabbit hole, I'm where I was going with the other one. Maybe I'll put my 2 cents in on this question. If we would all be entrepreneurs, who would work for us? Believe me, we're not all going to be entrepreneurs. The same way we're not all going to be UFC fighters, right? Don't know if you're familiar with UFC, but um, we're not all going to be UFC fighters. We're not all up for that challenge, right? We don't all have a vision. Not everybody in this world has a vision that's big enough that you're willing to do the work to get you through being just a person who's bought themselves a job and they're self-employed. Okay. To become an entrepreneur where you have a vision that's bigger than you and that you get enough people that agree with that vision that they go, I want to hitch my horse, or I want to hitch my wagon to your horse, however you put it, and help you achieve that. Not a lot of people, not a lot of, if it was easy, everyone would do it. One of my entrepreneurial ventures was a martial arts academy, a fight gym where people go and they learn to fight. And two questions that I would get asked in my life because of my background in entrepreneurship and business ownership. One is, should I start my own business? Is when I hear someone ask me that question, it's like the same people that would come into the gym and say, should I have a fight? They turn to somebody else and say, should I train up and have a fight? And my answer to someone that asks, should I become an entrepreneur and start my own business? And should I have a fight is the same. No, you shouldn't. And they would look at me shocked, going like, well, wait a second.
Because
But this is this is a fight gym, so you should want me to have a fight. And B, people go, well, but you've had success in entrepreneurship. Shouldn't I do that? And I go, if you have to ask me if you should, I don't think you'll get through the dark nights. I don't think you'll get through the extremely challenging training sessions. I don't think you'll be able to put in the work that it's going to take to actually achieve in that space. So, one thing that I'll put a pin in just for a second is that you have to have a vision that's bigger than yourself. It has to be bigger than you. To be a successful entrepreneur, it can't be about you and your financial success. It can't be. It has to be that there's something big that has to happen in the world that must be done. That must be done. And you can't sleep and you can't think and you can't do anything else until this becomes into existence. Entrepreneurs create a world that doesn't yet exist. Okay. They're creators,
nice.
right? So an entrepreneur is like an artist. Should everybody be an artist? Probably not, right? Someone's got to take out the trash. Someone's got, you know what I mean? And so I'm the drum that I beat is never everybody should go out there and be an entrepreneur. So I don't know where you're going to go with the question. So this is where we might rub up against each other on our opinions about it. But I'll let you have a say in 1 second. I was just going to finish my final thought on that previous thing around what the fourth way to make money again is to be a business owner. So you either have a job, you work for someone else, you trade time for money, you either become self-employed, which is you're a one-man band, you're a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker, You do your thing. Again, trading time for money. When you stop turning up to work, the money stops coming in. The other side, the other world that we would like to move into, or some people would, some people don't. Some people want a simple life, doing what they do, trading time for money. But otherwise, you either got to become a business owner or an investor. That's where you use leverage. When you're a business owner, you leverage other people, staff, other people who want to align themselves with your vision that's so great, because there's something that needs to come into the world that they're willing to trade their time for your money, the money that your great vision creates. So we'll go down a whole pathway on how to craft that vision and how to get people to come on the journey with you. But that's it. There's 4 ways you can do it. Go get a job. Yeah. Do the job that you're doing for someone else for yourself. 3, start a business, maybe where you do that or you do something else, or you bring something into existence that isn't in the universe yet. Or we leverage our money that we've created with a job, right? And some of the richest people right now in the world are people who just trade time for money, but they're really smart about how they invest their little bits of it, like we discussed in our discussion about Bitcoin. Hey, if you took $100 2 years ago every week, put it in, bought Bitcoin with it, well, today you'd have $350,000. Okay, there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that are in negative right now because they're not at the stage of their vision yet where enough people have agreed with them that this needs to exist in the world. So, you know.
Well, that's a thing I sort of wanted to bring up and sort of steer this in this direction. Is I heard someone say the other day actually, and everyone knows what's going on around the world. Everyone's affected by it, and he said, in catastrophe, there's also opportunity. And right now, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get stinking, filthy rich, and there's a lot of people that are just going to become slaves. And it's kind of like a slap in the face, because when you talk about a financial slave, it's someone who is going to be trading hours for dollars. And it's not a bad thing, but it is if you don't like your job, if you hate your boss, if you're doing something that's unfulfilling. It's kind of this trap where you feel like you can never get out while you're constantly trying to pay the bills. So this also ties in with, along energetic arts, we talk a lot about spirituality and personal development, inner work. And for me, the business owner mindset is kind of like the person who's going to be doing the internal work. They're not going to be just in it for the blissful gratitude, hallelujah moments. They're going to go through it and they're going to want to uncover and demystify everything and apply these skills and techniques into their life and make it better. And so when you're using these skills, to manifest certain things in your life, I mean, if you're on the spiritual new age bandwagon and all you're doing is going for love and light, and you can't pay your bills, and you can't, you're not eating properly, or you're limited in how you can live, then I feel like you're not really doing the work, because there's a whole aspect to life that you're just ignoring because of biases and prejudices, like, oh, money is not important. People who want to make money are materialistic. All these programs in the mind that we've sort of adopted and taken on and been affected by, without really questioning where they came from or how they were put there or who benefits from us thinking that way. If we can remove all that stuff out of the way, we start to take on, the business owner's mindset, which could also be a builder's mindset, a fighter's mindset, an inventor's mindset, a strategist's mindset. There's all these qualities that go into that, and they're
Okay.
they're the qualities that I find that we use when we're doing inner work and personal development as well. You're going to ask a question, Andy?
Sorry, just this because of the sound, just hiccup there for me for a sec. But the one of the things I was going to add to it, what just something you were saying about the business owner's mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
Having a business owner's mindset, okay, even if you have a job,
You can still,
get a business owner's mindset. Yeah, you
yes,
might
yeah,
find that you get a raise soon. Okay,
yeah,
if you
or a
start if you start
promotion.
look if you start looking at it as the business owner, I'll give you an example. So I had a friend of mine he's knocking heads with his boss at the moment, and they had a small disagreement about something that happened at work, and his boss is saying like, "Hey man, like you should have reached out to so and so within the company, right, and spoke to them. It's instead of bringing me into this whole thing." And his response was, "Well, I haven't got her number. I deleted her from my phone. You know, this is a
Mm,
small business with 6 people that work in it, right?" And he's kind of like, "Well, the boss, it was up to him. He should have arranged that, and he should have done X, Y, and Z, and everything should have been ready for me when I turned up for my shift, right? Because he's paying me to be
mm,
here, kind of thing."
mm,
And I kind of let him have his say, and it wasn't until the 2 days later I said, "Oh, by the way, just a something to consider. I'm going to play devil's advocate with you. It is a bit strange that you didn't have your employees, your colleagues' number in your phone to contact in this situation when it's a company with 5 people in it, and you know that you guys have to communicate, and it's not a big, well-oiled, completely corporate machine that everyone's in a reporting line. It's someone's entrepreneurial vision that they're trying to create, and you're there, right?" And I said, "And you're taking a
mm,
paycheck, so you have to be able to roll with deal into a bit of ambiguity, roll with his vision a bit, but be easy to work with. You know what I mean? Like make it
mm.
easy for them, like grease the wheels. You know what I mean? With
Yeah,
your
yeah.
action and your communication, because you might not like your boss, you might think he's a jerk, but it's a relationship that you're choosing to be there in, right? So
Mm, mm,
even for employees who, like some of the when we talk about ways that people can make the leap from having a job to owning a business, or having a job to being an investor, a lot of that can happen with if you open up your mind to the situation that you're in right now and what opportunities are staring you in the face. Okay, what opportunities there in the organization that you're in right now, right? If you're in an organization that you love and you love their vision and you think they're doing a great thing, and you're thinking, God, how can I be my own person in this particular industry or this world someday? Well, maybe you're standing right in the stepping stone. Maybe there's an opportunity for you to trade some of your time for shares in the company, or maybe they're
mm,
looking to expand, and they want someone who looks at the business like it's theirs, that can go on the journey with them. And I say that because I've done it. I've given
mm,
shares in companies to people who have worked for me. Oh, I can't now. I can't. I think every company I've ever been a founder of, I've given away shares in the company to employees, because I go, well, it's really hard to find great people. So if
mm,
there's great people that are right there in front of you, so we don't always know as the employee what our boss is thinking. You know what I mean?
mm,
They could be waiting for you to step up and come to them with a plan the amount of times I hear people tell me about how they see within their organization how all these things could be done better, and I go, well, then why aren't you doing it? And
Once
they
you're
say,
doing
it's
it,
not my job. They say, it's not my job. I go, well, it's not your job because you ain't doing it. You know what I mean? But
it
if
could
you
be your
start to
job.
do, if you start to do it, or if you bring a plan, if you have a
Mm,
strategy that you can articulate to the next up in line, or go straight, cut the chain of command and go straight to the CEO and tell him, hey, this is my plan, this is what I want to do. I know from having been uh, an you know a director of large companies, from and to be a owner of small companies, working side by side with everyone that's in the business. I can tell you that the boss isn't always going to show his whole card. They want people to step up. They want people to show themselves and show initiative. And so, having a business owner's mindset, a big part of that, if you're in a job right now, is to look at the world through their eyes, walk a mile
mm,
in their moccasins. You know what I mean? And and sometimes it can be hard to do that because we have to admit that, oh yeah, we have just been clocking in. You know, one of the things that I like we tend to notice sometimes as business owners is to go, well, you know, employees love like flexibility, but usually it only flexes one way. You know what I mean? Like there's this difference in the way that like we see the world. And yeah, so one of the easiest ways to make that leap is from where you're at right now. It's easiest to leap from where you're stood right now, right?
mm,
So whether that's in your own organization, whether it's in your hobby, whether it's in the place that you're volunteering your time because you hate your job and you just do it to pay the rent, and you have a passion that's somewhere else. I mean, there's a massive opportunity for people to go and work for free somewhere. You want to get a start in an industry, you want to get ahead somewhere, go turn up and say, passionate about what you're doing, love what you're doing, love your vision and your mission. I want to be a part of it. I'm here to volunteer. Tell me what I can do, right?
mm,
I've seen that turn into a franchise opportunity for someone,
mm.
right? I know.
The other thing is just to say, like, hey, I'm happy to work with you and help you bring in more money. And when I do that, let's work out a percentage or let's work out a wage from there. You know, if you, how would you like it if someone came to you and said, I'm going to help you make $100,000 extra a year, but I want 20% of that? Who's going to say no to that? No
You
one.
definitely, you definitely have a conversation. It's a conversation starter.
Definitely sit down. Yeah, it's definitely a conversation starter for
Yeah.
sure.
And so I guess one thing I thought that it might be worth framing before we go too far is like every people who are watching this, like, by the way, this is my first time on this platform. So that
Mm.
person's sort of comment that came up before, I'm like, I have no idea if there's anybody watching. I can't see if there's anyone watching, but
Yeah. So we had a few
people,
other comments. She's
ah,
she's
okay.
had to she's had to go now. So that's the
True intercourse is all that works is all for $1 and luxury. Middle business disappear or struggle hard. Intercourse is all okay. So I can't wait to watch. Well, can't watch more unfortunately. Okay, cool. But yeah, so you've got control, so you can see. That's great.
yeah. We've got people
I'm
watching
just,
now.
I'm just one of the
It's
sorry
dropping in and
people.
out. we've got we've got
Cool.
an we've got a live audience. It's all good.
Okay, cool. So look, depending on where the people are at in their careers or their like, I call it conscious wealth creation, right? What we should all do is become conscious wealth creators, right?
Mm,
That's the strategy. And you can be in any one of those places. You can be working for someone else as you do that. You can be your own boss as a self-employed, or you can be an investor or a business owner. But do it consciously, right? And know where you are and where you want to be going. Some people go, I'm happy. I've worked this job for 10 years. There's great benefits. There's great people. They're all there. Well, they go, what? And I don't need to make any more money. I have enough. Great. Fantastic. Boom. You've done it. You're killing it. Now go
Mhm.
focus on the stuff that you want to do with the rest of your day, right? But for some people, for example, they go, well, like we had our chat about Bitcoin. We were talking about that.
Mhm.
People go, oh, I haven't got money to put into Bitcoin. I don't have any spare money. Okay, forget about investing. Take action now to make money, right?
Mhm.
You don't have a job, go get there's not a lack of jobs out there. There's
Mhm.
jobs. There is. Even in this crisis, we haven't seen there be a massive decrease in jobs because now we can do this. People are willing to do a lot of work via a screen. There's now big deals done, big investments made over the screen. So we're in a different world, we're in a changing time. And if you have a job that you need to pay rent and buy bread and milk, and because you've got 3 kids and your wife took off with the milkman, and you're like, it's me and my 3 kids. What am I going to do next? Well, hey, look, you're staring. If you're looking at me, you're looking into the thing that has all the answers. Go on YouTube. Go in
Mhm.
all these places everything that you need to do to get started. We're doing this for free. We're
Mhm.
launching this for free. So if you have a hobby, which is to be a birdhouse builder, and that's how you spend your weekends, make a TikTok account about how you do birdhouses and go out there with your camera that you've got that you carry around with you all day long. Start documenting it, put it on Instagram, put it on TikTok. The internet has changed the game.
Mhm.
Okay, and
It's
then
a great
Apple changed.
leveler.
Then Apple changed the game. Right now, the richest, and define rich however you want, but I'll just define it for the purposes of this conversation as people have the most money, right? They are not the same people who were killing it 5 years ago, 10 years
Mhm.
ago, 100 years ago. If you weren't born into money in a other generation, too bad. And in some countries right now, that's still the way it is. But if you're watching this right now, I bet you can go out and cobble together a start, and that's all it is a leap from where you are right now closer to your great vision of where you want to be. And then what you realize, like basketball, like playing the guitar, any of them, building a business and growing a business is like any of them. There's a certain set of skills that you need to do it, and it doesn't happen by accident. There's a reason that people have success repeatedly across industries. That it's not, oh, Mark Zuckerberg got lucky or whatever. It isn't like that. There's a set of skills. There's a way to do it. There's a path to follow. It's done. The playbook's out there. You got to find it or get a mentor, get mentors, investing in your education. One of the things I was thinking about just leading up to this is I was like, I can't remember the last time I wasn't enrolled in some type of education. I can't remember. I can't
Mhm.
like since I went to school. Like I did, you know what I mean? I went, well, you always, whether it's a course on something I'm interested in. By the way, just signed up to UC Berkeley for their blockchain in business course, so I'm excited to start that tomorrow. You know what I mean?
That doesn't
because
surprise me at all.
because I go, you know what, it never stops, right?
Mm.
But the great thing is we're staring into the free. Most of the information that's out there is there. So
Well, and not just that, like there's so many. platforms, there's so many apps and programs, there's so many companies that are set up to take all the hard yards off you. All you really need to do now is do the wheeling and dealing, basically, setting things up, creating audiences, creating marketplaces. Like this, obviously, I'm wearing a bit of merchandise, the t shirt here. I didn't make this. This was made on a print on demand website. When people order these products, where is it? Here's the website. When people order the products, it goes off to a distribution center. They print it based on the designs I've created. It gets shipped out to the client, the customer, and all the transactions are handled. It's like magic. This is unheard of. Like, it didn't happen like this 10 years ago. If you wanted to have a t-shirt business, you had to buy the t-shirts. You had to get the printing done either through someone who was a printer or get your own machines. You had to do all the packaging yourself. You had to, get couriers to send it out or use the post. There was a lot of labor going on. Now it's just set and forget. And you don't even need to be tech savvy. I'm not tech savvy. If you look back at the page if you can go back a few years, you can see just how low tech this started as. And I wanted to do that purposely because I wanted to show people, to get to this topic we are today, is that you don't need to be anywhere in particular to get to make a start, right? You just need to have that intense desire to end up where you want to go. And you need a clear vision of where you want to go. And just to give you an idea, because people say, I want to have money and I want to have a nice house and blah, blah, blah. These are all things which are cool, and you should have them all if that's what you want. But I like to set you even further into the future and go, well, what happens when you've got all of that? What happens when you're living in the mansion? What happens when you're driving the hypercar or the dream car? What happens when you've got the perfect relationship and family? What happens when you've traveled so much you're exhausted from traveling? What happens when you've mastered business and people skills and entrepreneurial skills, and you're not even working anymore because you don't need to work because the money's just there and it just keeps coming in? What are you doing with your life then? And for a lot of people, they usually pick their hobbies or their art. They say, well, I want to spend time with family and friends. Like, okay, but there's going to be times where you just want to be able to do stuff for the sake of doing it too. So it's like, well, what is that? And if you can think about that and get into the vision of what that is in the future, then that's probably a really good start to go, okay, well, for me to have all that and be in line with that, and for me to start a business, because I go, well, what business should I start? Well, start something that's in line with where you want to finish. There's that old saying,
be the change you want to see in the world is one of them that I just wanted to cut you off on, because I go, have the vision be bigger than you. It's got to be. But what was your old saying that you were?
When you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, or whatever it was, something like that.
I think.
But
that
it's like,
I think that might be. I think that might be.
I messed it up, didn't I?
No, that's it. But sometimes I go, oh, dude, the amount of time. Like, I know, like, having businesses that spent a decade to build. Yeah. I can think back to times where, like, on that journey where I was like, that's bullshit. What they said about that, about do what you love, I'm like, no. Like, and so many times you think about going, shit, I could just be a dishwasher right now. Like, I could just be turning up somewhere, washing the dishes, and like that would be awesome. Like, that would feel like not working. Because whoa, I just had a painting.
You're right.
Yeah. I'm fine, but there's a painting just fell off of the wall down like a set of stairs. So anyway, sorry, that was probably really loud. Yeah,
That's what happens when we're live, people. You just don't know.
There's a ghost in here. My
But
poor
it's
dog's
like,
what's going on?
but it's like, a lot of people go towards their art, and I think part of it is, when you've got everything for yourself, you're gonna walk around, you're gonna go, hey, this is all great for me, but there's certain things in the world that I'm not quite happy with, and I want to contribute to the world. I want to contribute to the evolution of the human race somehow. How do I want to do that? And it's really hard when you're in, struggle town and you're in survival mode. And I don't think we could really have this conversation until now that everyone's at home or, not being able to work and not being able to move around. And people can actually slow down and go, well, okay, there's a lot in the world at the moment that I'm not happy with. There's all these restrictions put on us, but it's like, okay, well, if you were in charge, if you were at the helm of this ship, what world would you want to create? What would you change in it? What is it that isn't here that you want to see here? What kind of world do you want to live in? And so when you start thinking about like that, then the business opportunities and the ideas for starting a company just start to flow in really easily. Well, that's my way of looking at it. What do you think, Andy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, look, I think for me, when I think about sort of that part of it, and to me, this stuff's all coming back to what's your vision, right? What's the vision that's bigger than you? Why are you here? To me, when we talk about building a business, starting a business, whatever, I call that entrepreneurship. To me, entrepreneurship is an extension of your spiritual journey, right?
Thank you.
You came to this place. We don't know how you got there. It's a freaking mystery. Here you are. You're here now. You got something to do. And by the way, to touch back on what people are saying, or what you are sort of preempting people who in the spiritual community are like, well, we don't like money and we don't want this, and money's a dirty word, and da 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 da. Great, yeah. Hey, man, I hang around with a bunch of monks, right? I'm a Buddhist monk. Most of my close associates are beggars. Okay, that's how they make their living. They share their knowledge, right, and then ask for money in return. Okay, but that's not that different than what
Everybody's
businesses do, right? Okay, but then some of them as well, they go, well, actually, I don't do any of that. My role in this lifetime is to go and to be the one that spends 12 hours a day in a meditative state, so that I can, because someone needs to, right? And then you know what, the universe supports them to do it. There's people around that allow them to do that, right? So their truth is this: any of you, whatever it is you want to do, whatever your journey is, whatever your vision for your own life is, the universe is going to support you to do it. If you want to sit in meditation all day long, go join a monastery. The universe will support you to do it. You don't have to work a day in your life. Okay? You can go and you can focus on your spiritual path. Go do it. Right? But take a shit or get off the pot. You know what I mean? If you don't want to do that and you go, but I want to have stuff and things, and okay, then you're still in the conversation. So get right with yourself. You know what I mean? And realize
because
that
if you're gonna spend 12 hours meditating and that the universe is going to support you, then you got to do the 12 hours of meditation.
Well, yeah, or you
Get the
clean the
support.
monastery, or you clean the
Yeah.
monastery, or you know what I mean? Clean the shitters, do the sweeping, do the gardening. Believe me, there's if and I don't want to sound like a privileged jerk, because there's people in some parts of the world that don't have that opportunity. They're living in a they're living in a different scenario. They don't have the opportunity to either go be in a monastery or go and get a job or go and start their own business. The support isn't there for them. But in our kind of closed loop of a conversation here right now with the people who are lucky enough, to be able to be sat there on their couch or wherever, or even if they're on a bus, like to and from work, watching it on their phone. I mean, like it ain't like, we know there's people starving all around the world right now, and my conversation would be different if it was to them. But for us, it's like, okay, if you have like, you know, get your spiritual journey aligned with your reason to get up and go to work every day, if you want, or keep taking the money from being the person who helps another person's vision come into place, and then get your side hustle going on the side. The world we live in now is different than like our parents and our parents' parents lived in, where you go, I've got one thing that's my that I do, and I turn up and I show up at the factory from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day, and my paycheck comes in. Well, we're in a different world now. We like, find your 5 different streams of income. You don't like your job, no worries. You only have to do that X amount of. If you're in a if you're in a first world country, the most they can make you work is 38 hours a week, right? Like, so that leaves a lot of time. Leaves a lot of time to go and hone your craft, become an expert in the field that you want to be an expert in, and to take advantage of Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, free website builders, like, right? But what we have to do, if you like, I was thinking about a friend of mine who had come to me and was like saying how he wanted to start his own business, right? And I said, he's going to say, what's your advice? I said, get aligned with your big vision of why you want, how you want to spend your days, what change you want to see in the world, what's the big vision, what do you want to make happen in the universe, because it will support you in every way it can to make it happen. So what is it, right? Think about that. Spend the first time, instead of going out and making a website first, go do some reflection, do some journaling. If you have to do it an hour a day every day, start every day with, why am I here? What is it that's coming forth? What am I creating? And write for a half hour, right? Or write until your brain empties, right? Do that every day for 10 days. If you haven't got a idea or something to kind of like start to put your hooks into to take to the next level, keep going. Keep turning up to work every day, get paid, but then have a half hour a day, do your journaling. If you actually do that, what you'll find is that there's something inside of you that's waiting to come into existence. Okay, that there's something that you can apply yourself to that will help the world move forward. Okay. Um, and so he came to me about 10 days after we had this conversation. He said, I've got it. I said, I'm excited. This is a guy who's super into fitness, one of the fittest freaking guys I know, smart guy. And I'm like, going, what is it? And I'm like excited, going, I might invest. I can't wait to hear what it is. He's like, Kitty Cat Club. I'm like, what? He's like, Kitty Cat Club. Like the most Googled thing, or like the videos on YouTube with the most videos are cats. People love cats, right? And he goes, and I found this place in China that you can get this like cat jewelry for like pennies, and like I'm gonna sell this for like X amount. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, yeah, but do you love cats? And he's like, well, no, I don't, but people do. And that's like what people want. You know what I mean? People want like cat jewelry. And I'm like, going, oh, disappointing. Back to the drawing board, man. Because, do you think that went anywhere? Do you think Kitty Cat Club turned into like the biggest? It did not. Of course, it didn't. And not if he had a cat, had multiple cats, loved cats, and
Different
even didn't have
story.
one, and he came to me, he goes, my reason for existing is cats and my love for cats and my passion for cats, and I want to
Fair
share
enough.
that with the universe. I would say, Kitty Cat Club, that is it. You've nailed it. Okay. But, was it square peg, round hole? You know what I mean? It's like, no, no, no. Don't go out there and try and figure out what are people doing to, if you want to start a business, if you want to invest in things, ask what people are investing in, and that's a different story. But if you want to start something, if you want to go, I want to create something new, don't ask anyone else except yourself. Look deep
Mhm.
inside of yourself and figure out what it is that you should be bringing to the world, and have a vision. Because I'm telling you, I'll give you a couple of my own, um, sort of like case studies. And then, by the way, I'll shut up. You can chat for a bit, or we can bring someone else on. But I'm going to give you two short case studies, right? It's like when you have something that you want to bring into existence from a business standpoint, you need to have a big vision. Okay, it needs to be bigger than you. It needs to be the change you want to see in the world. It needs to be the thing that has to be created, but you can't do it on your own, and you're gonna have to bring an army with you to do it. Right? That's when you need a company. Right? So you need your vision, and then you need your mission, which is how you do it, which is what your company does, right? Which is the day to day, everyday stuff. And then you have your values, which is the way that your company and the people who are in it will behave as you guys all go on that great journey together, right? So you have like the vision, the view from the mountaintop. So when you've created the thing it is you create, you stand out and you look at it and you go, aha, we've done it. That's your big vision. The mission is like, but we turn up every day and do this, this, and this, and this to get there. And our values is everything we put in our pack as we climb up the mountain on that mission so that we can get there. How will we be on our way up the mountain? What will we do? How will we behave? Right. So when I look back at like a great travel company that I was a founder of, that, we, pre-COVID, we're turning over close to $60 million, which is pretty significant amount of sales in a year. And the way we did it was not by saying, hey, we're going to find a bunch of people that just want to wake up and sell travel. Yeah, that's why they exist. They sell travel. No, it was understanding that the joy of travel is that we are two people on a journey, right? And when I come and we meet, and if you happen to walk into, by the way, that vision started with me in a shop on my own, one man band in a store going, got a chip in a chair. I'm here. I'm in the game. And every person that walked through the door to come in and inquire about travel, the way I view, they thought they came in to book a tour. They thought they were coming in to go to the Blue Mountains or to go to the Great Barrier Reef. In my mind, I went, I'm on a spiritual journey with this person. There's 7 billion people in the world, and I've managed to have this person end up in front of me. Let me find out as much as I can about this person, what they want, where they want to go with their life, what their hopes, dreams, fears, everything are in this short amount of time we have together. And then if I can just nudge them in a direction by assisting them in their next destination where they're going, or for the next month where they'll be spending it, and make recommendations to them based on what I think they want in their journey, then I'm not working. I'm a spiritual guide. You know what I mean? That's how I viewed it. And then when we started to grow the business out, which again pre-COVID there was 230 salespeople sat across from people every day. They weren't going, I got to just sell this person a tour. They're going, I'm going to take this person on an epic journey. I'm going to help them get to where they're going, not just physically, but I'm now their guide for this time. So I take that very seriously. It's a responsibility. And the customers who would go from store to store, from one store to another, and would then get that kind of a service, they could feel the difference in that, you know? And the last case study I'll give you is and you were thankfully one of my clients in that business in my martial arts school. Our vision wasn't, as I mentioned before, it's a fight gym. You learn to fight, you learn jujitsu and boxing and wrestling. And, the mission was turn people into really great martial artists. But the vision was to have a spiritual temple where people could come to and grow on a mental, spiritual, physical plane. And the whole vision was about making people the best version of themselves and go through transformation in a safe, clean, fun environment, right? So the vision was around transforming people. So if people looked at our vision, they would have no idea what we were doing. I'm going to throw one out for you because I came across this the other day. What company's vision is this? Creating a world built on connection and belonging. Do you know whose vision that is? Airbnb. So go check out Airbnb on LinkedIn. And if you see them, it doesn't say Airbnb, we rent out your home. You can make extra money from renting out a room in your home. It says creating a world built on connection and belonging. Okay, that's how they want the world to change. That's why they've become one of the biggest travel companies in the world, right? Because the vision was so big. And then they went, well, what's our mission? Our mission is to give people a platform to be able to, rent out their home, whatever, right? That becomes secondary. You go to their page, which right front and center is their big vision. It's bigger than them or what they do. So that's what we have to do to have a business owner's mindset, is to not go, I got to find that thing to make me a whole bunch of money. I got to figure out what that thing is that someone else is doing that I don't care about that makes a bunch of money, and I'll go do that. Forget about that. Figure out why you're here, why you exist, what it is you want to bring to the world. Then surround yourself with people, mentors, invest in, if you don't know the answers to the questions, start with audible.com. It's $10 a month or whatever it is. Start with YouTube. Go to your public library. Yeah. If you can't, if you say, but I'm in lockdown, they don't let me go to a library. You know what? There's online libraries. It's all there. Message us, put it up in the group. I have so much stuff I could give to people to say, start here. Once you've got through that, come to me for the next bit. Yeah. Yep. But go through that and digest it. Anyhow, sorry. You really got me ranting on this one.
Got the juices flowing. I knew this topic would get you going. I agree with you totally on that. It's one of the things that, I'm very heavy into self-development. I was very into the spiritual path like yourself, and self-discovery and personal development, all that sort of stuff. The thing that would frustrate me the most is that people would learn all these skills, these technologies, and they wouldn't apply it to their life. They use it as intellectual capital to sound smart to other people, and they wouldn't apply it in their life. And but somehow they would come up with the the money to go to the next conference. Okay. And usually that was at the detriment of every other part of their life. So to me, it was like what I wanted to do, the idea behind energetic arts was to create to collaborate with people, to create a mastermind group where we could practice this stuff whilst earning good money. So survival was handled. You could always pay for the next course or the tool or the event, whatever you need to go to. It wasn't going to come at the detriment of you not being able to pay your rent or feed your family. But that would be like pittance in compared to how you applied what you learned. When you apply what you learn, you have all these amazing transformations, not just in your bank account, but as a person. You not only become a better person and more authentic and more honest with yourself, you'd be more honest with people around you, and there would be this ripple effect that would go out into the community, and people in the community would be affected in a positive way. And then maybe, just maybe, we could eventually wake up in a world where people were awake, and there wasn't all of this bullshit and guff that you had to get through just to have real, genuine connections with other human beings. Is that too deep?
No, mate, it's amazing, and it's a great vision. I just realized that while you were saying that, I clicked on the thing, which I can now see that there's comments on the side. That's why I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
So sorry, I distracted. But mate, I think that's a beautiful vision. And
so can I keep going? So when with all the techniques and things you've learned through becoming a monk, you've definitely integrated some, if not a lot of them, into your life, and there's even more to go. You know that. It's like the more you learn, the more you see you can learn. But the thing that I found really cool about applying this stuff, that's cool. The thing that I found that's really good about applying this stuff to business is that you learn all these tangible skills as well. Like just to be successful at business, to create a business, and for it to work, you need to be such an avid learner. You need to be a researcher. You need to be a student of about, I don't know, at least 10 different subjects all at once at the same time, just to get things going and off the ground, right? One of those is people skills, communication skills, social skills. One thing that when people are thinking about creating a business or a company or an income stream, they're going like, what product or service should I create? It's like, you know what, at the end of the day, when you take money and products and services out of the equation, everything is person to person. If you don't have people skills, you've got nothing, right? Unless you got this whiz bang product that
unless
you've
got a great widget or you're a coder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's
and you can be a jerk and no one cares because
the world is changing a bit in that regard. But at the end of the day, even in that world, even in the world of technology and crypto technology and all that stuff, like I know for me now as an investor, I have a 10-point checklist when I look at a product, right? Or like a crypto, for example. And one of my 10 points that I look at is leadership and team. You know what I mean? Like I go, well, if there isn't a charismatic leader or a team of people because you don't always need a charismatic leader, right? But if they've been able to get a bunch of great people around their vision, that's important, right? Like, so you go, yeah, that's one of the skills that unfortunately it's pretty necessary. And one of the things I thought would be fun, and I don't know who you've got on there. But I thought what would be cool would be to do a small little workshop. So if you have somebody out there who's got a business, who's got a business idea, who goes, I'm in the, I'm in the, I'm in the working, I'm in the trading time for money stage, and I want to get into the business owner stage, or I want to make the leap to just even being my own boss in this thing. That we could do a quick. This is off the cuff. We haven't discussed this, but we could do a little workshop with them and maybe
For
answer
sure.
like if they had a couple questions, or if they have a
Yeah.
business now and they want to get to the just next little step, so we could come on and we could kind of just go, here's how we could start to apply some stuff to your situation.
Well,
Okay,
absolutely.
let's bring on the person that said I want to start coaching.
All right. So there's a link in the comments. If you click on that link, we can bring you on. So while that's happening,
or if they want to, if they're too scared to come on. By
that's
the way,
fine too. Yeah.
if you want to be a coach and you don't want to jump on this call right now because you're too scared to put yourself out there, consider something else. That would be my advice. But if I understand if you're in a position where you're like, I'm putting my kids down, or I'm here, or I haven't got my hair done, I don't want to do my big coming out party right now.
Yeah. That's all right.
100%. But if you have a question, right, that you want to put in there, so you want to start coaching. Okay, while that person decides, I'll give them a little bit of a quick, here's where to start. Okay, let's start coaching business. Your name there is Facebook user. So your coaching business is called Facebook User Coaching. Okay. So here's how it works. Here's how your coaching business works. I'm going to give it to you. And this is if you're a coach, or if you're a tech company, or if you're a lawn mowing company. Okay. Same's going to apply to all of you. Facebook User Coaching. You right now, my friend, are the CEO. You're the one in charge. You're at the top. Underneath you, there's 6 pillars that hold up your business. Okay. There's marketing. There's sales. There's the product. Okay. We know what the product is your coaching. You've got some skill that's so great that you can share it with the world. Okay. Marketing, sales, product, operations, okay, operational stuff, finance, and HR. Yeah, those are your pillars. That's what holds up Facebook User Coaching. Okay, right now, take whoever's in charge in each of those different pillars and put their name there. So if you imagine making a chart with your name, Facebook User Coaching at the top, you're the CEO. We got the sales department, the marketing department, the product department, the delivery department, yeah, the HR department, and the finance. I can't remember if that was all 6 of them, but these are your 6 pillars. So if it's just you say you want to start coaching, I'm guessing it's you on your own. Right now, you're in charge of every one of those departments. You're the head of all of those departments. You're the CEO and you're the head of each of those departments. Part of your big vision, creating your big vision of where you want to be, you best bet you want somebody else in charge of each one of those departments, or else there's going to be a lot for you to do. So you have to imagine, but between now and then, until you get there, you have to know a little bit about each of those. Okay. So you need to know a little bit about marketing. So go read some books about marketing. Go think about all the free marketing you can do through Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok. Okay. That's all your marketing. That's how you tell your great vision that you have to the world. That's what marketing is. you get people interested in your amazing vision about why you can help them transform their life through your coaching in whatever way. So to do that, you better get really clear on what your vision, mission, and values are, right? Because your big vision, like if you were Airbnb and your vision was creating a world built on connection and belonging, you need to say to your marketing department, we have this great big vision. It's up to you guys now to get that out to the world. So by the way, Facebook user, if you want to start coaching and you have $1 million, fantastic. We can start to figure out how to allocate those funds, which is part of your finance over here. That's a whole other pillar that holds up your business. So right now, finance needs to talk to marketing and says, how much money we got to put into marketing. You're like, hey, I'm just working for someone else right now. I want to be a coach. So we go, we ain't got any money. So start Googling, what are the best free marketing? Go out there, create all your social media, accounts, right? Coaching women with transformation. Okay, great. So we're getting a little bit clearer. So one tip for you, Chef Garcia, if your business is coaching women with transformation, get really clear on your customer avatar. Who is your customer, right? I want to know everything about her. I want to know what books she reads. I want to know where she spends her time online. I want to know how much money she makes. I want to know everything about her. You have a customer avatar now that you can figure out this person that I need to speak to, that needs to hear my message. Here's how I'm going to find her online. Oh, she reads this book and this book and this book. Cool. I'm going to find groups on Facebook where someone that reads those books is there. Or I'm going to go into the comments section. I mean, there's people everywhere. You're surrounded in them. So, but part of it is, part of your marketing is getting really clear on who that person is that you need to get your message across to. Your sales is your next department. You need, what do you say? What's the pitch, right? Women, spiritual, professional force. Cool. Okay. So, well, I'll keep going and we'll expand on her a bit. But so you go, cool. Well, okay, let's actually skip to the product. Okay. So product, when you say you're coaching, so, well, what does that mean? So if you're coaching, so are you selling a ebook? Are you selling a group to become a part of? Are you selling one-on-one coaching? What's the product? What are you selling? Right? What's the thing that the like? Are they just signing up for a lifetime of coaching? Is it an 8-week thing? Is it a never ending? Is it like martial arts where you go, well, I've got this group. This is what we're doing. It's ongoing learning that you do for as long as you like. You sign up as a member. Heart math coaching, stress management. So chef, are you selling like are you selling like a course, or is it one-on-one? Is it you? Is there a group of you? And as she decides, so 6 sessions. Okay, cool. So how do you want to come on? Do you want to come on to the?
Yeah, there's the link there. Click on the link,
It's
Shaf.
easier that we can actually
we can just talk.
You could walk out of here with a business plan.
Yeah, that's why we're on this. That's why we're on this new platform.
Do you want to click on the link and come on to the video so we can?
Let me send it to you
together.
Let me send it again. Okay, hang on. All right, you see the link? Does that work? Tried.
How did I get in here? As we figure that out, so we go. We've got our marketing. When we get our marketing sorted, so if she's going to be doing one-on-one coaching, well, she wants to have a Facebook group. She wants to have a TikTok account. She wants to have a Snapchat account. Instagram, or not that she needs all of those, but pick a couple of places where you're going to live and you're going to be starting to put your message out there in, um, and start thinking about.
There we go. Try that link, Shav. And whoever else is on board. See, we're learning as we go. Did that work? There it is. That's the link. Now we can have up to 10 people on the screen at once. This is like a
It's
little
great.
dojo.
But
But yeah, let's get
do
Shaf up.
Shaft first, so we
Yeah.
can give Shaft some good attention. So yeah, the other sort of pillars, just as she gets set up, is, you got the product delivery. Well, how are you delivering the product, and who's delivering it? So it sounds like and that should always be changing. So right now she's got 6 sessions. Well, we need to bulk that out. We need or maybe not, maybe 6 sessions, and that's it, and they're done. But we go, how can you message it to her directly on,
Yeah.
so we've got our product delivery, then we've got our finance. So right now, I mean, if she's a one person business, it's just herself, her finance department, if on depending on what her skill set is in that, is probably consisting of like her accountant, or a bookkeeper maybe, and someone that knows the numbers. If she doesn't know the numbers, she's got to learn them really quick, and understand, for example, like, how to read a P&L, understanding cash flow, that sort of stuff. But right now, she probably doesn't need a really built out sort of finance department, right? And then HR is obviously human resources and the people in the business. So if it's one-on-one coaching with her, this is kind of where I would look at saying, well, this is really when we talk about the different types of sort of ways to create funds, create wealth, is she would be self-employed, right? She's someone who's employed herself to be a coach, um, that may be able to turn this into a company by having other coaches. Maybe she has a particular method of coaching that can be trained. Maybe that's a product that can be developed, which is a course to become a coach in her methodology,
Here she
etc.
is.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey,
Hi. Nice to see you both.
Shaf, welcome. Where are you?
I'm in London.
Oh, lucky you. You're out. They've let you guys out, hey?
So I'm a heart math coach.
Can you tell us about what that is? Can you tell me your vision for why your company exists?
It doesn't exist yet, but
But
so
you are a coach.
Brett and I, like, I'll start from the very beginning. Brett and I have this common teacher. Like, we both are students of Dr. Joe Dispenza. So that's how we met. We never actually met, but we did. That's how we connected, and so in with Dr. Joe's work, we learn about heart coherence through meditation. And so through doing that work for the last 10 years, I found he uses heart math in his teachings.
And so
That's how we both discovered heart math.
is it like a modality that basically you go through like a course, and then you have that, and you're able to then
Yes,
find clients to work with one-on-one in that
exactly. Yeah,
modality?
we get taught. There's about 300 heart math coaches in the world, and we get taught in a 3-day training course. We get taught everything, and then what we're supposed to do is find our own clients and teach the heart math to the clients.
Okay, sure. And so do you have any clients at the moment?
No, because I've never taught anyone or had a client yet.
Okay, so do you, and so do you have a big vision for this yet? Like, have you got a plan around this, or is it like an idea that you're like, shit, this is something I want to pursue?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing my own transformation for the last 10 years and through Dr. Joe's work, and I just feel like it's
You've
like
been doing your own transformation since the minute you turned up, just so you know. It didn't start 10 years ago.
yeah, yeah.
It's never ending.
Yeah, and so I just want to help other women who I feel like I just want to give them the tools what I've learned, and it's very specialist what the knowledge I've learned, the meditation, but it's all about stress management, and I've just become a nutrition. I've just done a nutrition course, so my expertise. Well, I've been healing from adrenal fatigue for the last 2 years. And so I've been learning, I've been at home learning about sleep, learning about nutrition, meditation. So I feel like I'm a health coach overall, that I've used all these skills for myself. And then I want to help other people with the same.
Yeah, cool. And so are you employed at the moment?
No.
Okay, cool. So the idea is to turn this into something that you can create income from.
Well, ideally, I just want to start doing something. I don't want the pressure of money involved, and I'd really love, because it's my passion, and I just want to be able to do this,
But
at the weekend or something.
What do you mean though? But what do you mean by you don't want the pressure of money?
Because
good question.
Because I would need at least £1,000 a month to pay my rent and bills, and so I don't really want that pressure. I'd rather get a job which is like Monday to Friday, and then do this at the weekend
for free, or
no, to charge people.
Okay, but you do want to charge people.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So so let's talk about the product. So your offering is like a 6 session.
Yeah.
So is that over 6 weeks or?
Yeah. So
Cool.
It's over a period of time. Yeah.
Okay. What's the cost?
I haven't actually thought about it, but
How long is this? How long is the session?
It would be about an hour or so, an hour and a half, but about £50 minimum, an hour. So overall about £300 to £500 for the whole course. But like I said, I haven't actually had a client yet. So
Okay. So have you had any friends or colleagues that you've like gone through this with?
Yes, I mean, I have lots of other heart math coaches who
But they're not going to pay you.
No. I mean,
they're already the experts.
Just saying that I have that support. I've had the support of other coaches, and gone to lots of trainings, and seen other people doing it. But
Okay.
They just seem to have their own business and coach people.
Yeah, and so it's actually pretty interesting because you're at the kind of very beginning, right?
Yeah.
You've got a skill, you've got an idea, and then so what we actually have the opportunity to do is we could use you as like a case study, and we can start to kind of like apply, give you some stuff that we apply that you can go out and apply and see if we can turn this into a business.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So first task for you, okay, at this very early stage is to come up with your vision, mission, and values.
I mean, I think they're quite clear.
Okay,
My
what's
mission,
your
and
what's your vision?
my vision is to help women.
Okay, cool. Help women. What's your mission? How are you going to do it?
I feel like the best tools in my life I've ever had, the person who's helped me the most has been Dr. Joe, and I kind of feel like a calling to use what he's taught me, which is about meditation and heart coherence, which is what heart math is. It's an aspect of that. So to use
Okay,
those
cool.
tools.
So I actually think when it comes to your vision, mission, and your values, that your vision and mission right now are sort of the same. Your mission is to help women through meditative practice, and I'd leave Joe out of it because
Yeah,
he's handed it on to you, and
yeah,
there's a way that you can use that stuff in your marketing. But to get really concise about your vision, mission, and values, it's your mission is to help women through meditation, and however you kind of like tie that off in a succinct, like
yeah.
statement. But your vision, so what happens to these women after they've done this? What's the result?
Just the
What's the outcome?
transformation. The outcome is
Sorry.
that they have a transformation in their
So
life.
so and like a transformation, like their hair grows long, or their fingernails grow long, or what's the
Well, I feel like I feel more empowered now, feel stronger, and I feel like that hasn't been just through meditation. I feel like to really get a transformation, you have to eat healthily, you have to exercise, you have to sleep well. I
Okay,
think there's
that's
so
great. So,
many
but
pillars to health.
go back to the result though. Again, was strength and empowerment.
Empowerment. Yeah, I feel
To
like
to
I
Empowerment.
feel very empowered and
so, so,
strong.
so your vision could be that you empower and strengthen the female. What's the word? No, I want to say race, but
Divine feminine.
you strengthen and empower. Listen, here we go. The vision: strengthen and empower the divine feminine.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Right.
Love
The
it.
mission is creating is one-on-one coaching that one-on-one coaching that sorry, are you typing away?
No.
No, I'm talking to
No.
Brett. Are you,
I
there's
was
really
for a second. I'm done
yes,
now.
I'm just hearing
Distracted.
there's just a really weird
There there is
background
this
noise.
there's this static. Stop now.
Okay, it stopped now. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, so you're empowering and strengthening the divine feminine is your vision. This is a big thing. How you're going to change the world. The mission is offering one-on-one coaching to strong females, meditation, nutrition, right? Because I think your offering should become more than just what you learned in that course, because you said you're also a nutritionist, you've done the meditation thing, and I'm sure as just a strong, empowered female, you have other things that you can bulk out your own sort of
Yeah.
offering with, right? So you've got your vision, your mission, and your values should just be, you could start with 6 things that are short statements about how you as a company, right? Because right now, even if it's only you, we're talking about you being a company and how you behave in the space. So you're going to go boom, transparency, fun, whatever the values are that resonate with you and how you're going to be on this journey. Because I can tell you, like, once you make your website, for example, and you have your story up there, like, I know that, for example, just to just to like fast forward to, for example, to get into like some particulars around like tools that we can use now on your website. You can have, for example, something called Hotjar, which tracks where people click and where their mouse goes around their website. And I know, for example, in my martial arts school, which was about very similar, strengthening, empowering people, a lot of them we could track using technology. So this gets into the operational sort of part of our, the pillar of the business, where we could see that they would actually go and click on our values, and it would be, you could see through you could be tracking their mouse and see that, oh, it was after they read their values that boom, that they clicked and put inquire now, right? So this is stuff that when people, especially in the space you're talking about, are looking to invest their money, they want to know that I'm completely aligned with her vision and what she wants to do, and my values are going to be on the same. We're going to be on the same page with each other. Okay. But what we can start to do now is go, okay, now let's go back to our marketing. And we talk about when you start your Facebook, your Instagram, your blog, because those are things that you're going to need for, especially for this type of a business. Facebook, like for you, a great start would be Facebook, Instagram, a blog, and TikTok. These are 4 places you can make a very big impact with your space. So start now figuring out everything you can for free about those platforms, about how to do that, how to do a free blog, how to use Facebook, how to make Facebook stories, how to make reels. So go on YouTube, figure out how to make reels, find other people in your space that are doing it, that are doing what you're doing or similar things. Find the ones you love and that you resonate with, and steal from them. Do what they're doing, right? But with your own vision, mission aligned with that. And when you have your vision, mission, and values really aligned, what you can find is, well, it's then when we sit down, when we give you when we give you a project, which is to create a 1-month social media strategy, and you have to create content for these multiple platforms across a whole month. Well, what are we going to look to find that stuff? We're going to look to your vision, your mission, and your values. If you've got 6 or 10 values, well, I bet you we can expand on each one of those, write blog posts, find pictures, find content that's all related to that. Or your vision, when you talk about it, you can go and find writings, articles, other things. If you don't know how to write a blog post, find a blog post out there that connects with your vision. And what you should do is write a response to it and put that as your blog. So, when we start to get clear on why we exist, what reason we're here, what our mission is that can keep us on track and get people to go, oh, okay, I'm in, I'm with you, I'm on the journey. And we know how we're going to behave, and we're going to treat people, and the people who have the similar values to us will resonate with us and go on that journey. It all will stem from there. We get really, really clear on your product, those 6 sessions, how to price them properly so that your time and money that you're earning is value, that it balances out. Because if you go, well, I'm only doing 6 sessions and they're $300 or $500, well, that's the lifetime value of your customer. So that's going to help us determine how much we can invest in marketing, how much we can base it around. Well, if we know, we can actually max you out. We can say, if you want to work 5 hours a day for 5 days of the week, and we know how much you're going to make during those days because you have a set price and it's just you at the moment, we can determine, we can make a financial forecast that, well, if we fill your calendar for a month, we can know exactly how much we're going to make because it's you. So we can have some really clear financial projections. So we go, well, shit, if we're going to end up with $400,000 at the end of the year, if we do this properly, well, we know we can start to invest some money in the marketing, and we know how to scale that up or scale it back. So, I mean, because you're at the very, very beginning, it's so easy because there's so much, you know what I mean? So it's really easy to go, cool, go away, make that really, make one really clear document that's vision, mission, values, boom, succinct, a powerful message. What you should do, go on to, here's a part of the job, go on to LinkedIn, find all of your favorite companies and look at what their vision is. Like I said, Airbnb's vision is to create a world built on connection and belonging. What's your favorite company? What's a company you resonate with the most? This is a question. What is it?
I think it's all and everything the spiritual world, like, you know, like Hay House is very spiritual. Dr. Jones.
Okay, what? Sorry, they're a publishing house, are they?
Yeah, and they.
What are they called again?
Hay House.
How do you spell it? Is it H-A-Y, H-O-U?
H-A-Y. After Louise Hay. So H-A-Y and then House.
Okay, Hay House Inc. Publishing Co. Okay, so for example, if I had Louise Hay on the phone, I would give her one small bit of advice right now, because what she has done is she's gone the largest publisher of self-help books, events, and courses. Okay. I think that's a bit self-centric. You know what I mean? I think that's what they do. That's their mission, is to be that. But I think they missed a point there, which is like, tell me the change you're going to make in the world for me. I'm a consumer, right? I want to know what I'm going to get from interacting with you. So, you know, they're obviously a big company, but they could use a bit of work on there. Sorry, Brett, you're muted, buddy. We lost you. Brett.
They're doing okay.
Yeah. They're doing okay. Yeah, they're doing okay. But do you see what I mean?
I get what you're saying. Yeah, like, so we've got this tagline here: strengthen and empower the divine feminine. I like that. Well, I'm going to ask a question. What does it mean when someone is strong and empowered in their divine feminine? And is it just? It's not just men. It's not just women, is it? Like, men can be balanced in their feminine energy as well, I guess. But what does it mean when you're strong and empowered in your divine feminine, Shaf?
Have we lost her?
I'm thinking that's a really difficult question.
And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but that when you go into that space, you're going to get a lot more clarity. And so, for example, Lisa's watching, and I can think of a few people in the group already that probably like the idea you're going into. And so if you can sort of get clear on that, they'll probably go, well, I want that. I want to be strong and empowered in my divine feminine so I can have this kind of outcome lifestyle way of being. And and if that's what you do and that's clear, then, you know, it's easy to jump on board. And I was just kind of thinking, you know, I remember when back in the early 2000s, a friend of mine, he was becoming a life coach. He was very much involved in the Tony Robbins scene. And when he started out, he was only 19, and for a 19-year-old to try and coach adults, it was almost laughable at first glance, but he was really skilled. And he came to me and said, look, I know you're into all this stuff. Would you mind being a practice client for me? I won't charge you anything. The value of this, the work that I'll do, which is over like 3 months, when I'm established and people know who I am and how good I am, it's worth about $3,000. I said, mate, you're going to do that for nothing. Of course I'll be a practice client. You know, can't be, even if he was really lousy, I'm still going to get something out of it. There was a few little tips and tricks and tools that if I walked away with 3 tools over 3 months that I would use for the rest of my life, it was worth it. You know, when I say tools, like if I get a hammer in my garage, I'm probably going to have it on my bench forever. If I get a screwdriver, I'm going to use that a lot, you know, even just for the little things. I might not build a whole skyscraper out of it, but I'll be able to fix the towel rail in the bathroom, you know, and that's worth it. So, you know, I can immediately think of at least one person in the group, and if I really sat down, I'm sure if we put you two together, you both would get a lot of benefit out of that.
That was going to be my next piece of advice: is find 3 people, or however, like, you know, a few people that you can do for free, and create yourself some case studies that you can then use in your marketing, that you can get testimonials from. People want to hear from other people how great of a coach you are, right? So
exactly, social
you
proof.
bought some, that social proof's invaluable, right? So that stuff they can, you know, think of it as a collaboration with that person, and how you know, if you can get someone that's actually really open, like someone that's close to you, that you can go, cool, and we can maybe talk more like one-on-one about this, like to help you make a little bit of a plan around how to do it and how to get the most value out of you giving up your time for free, right? Because what you want to get out of that is some great testimonials, but you want to get some case studies that you can turn into content for your website, and that you can use it within, you know, the different social media places. What we'll have to do is come up with as well a sales. That's a dirty word for some people. And even, you know, I sense a bit of thing. You're like, oh, I don't want the pressure of, well, you know, right now you said you're in the prime opportunity to turn this into your full-time job, if it's something that you really want to do. Like if it's really why you're here, and your meaning to be on the earth is to empower and strengthen the divine feminine, well, I don't want you wasting any time doing a 9 to 5. You know, if you're clear on this, let's get you doing that full time, and let's make it worth your while, you know. And there isn't any reason why you can't, because the answers to all the things you don't know, all the parts you don't know yet, they're very close by.
Yeah, very, very close. And so I want to encourage you right now, Shaft, to go, instead of saying, and here's part of the business owner's mindset is like, don't go, I don't want the pressure of having to come up with $1,000 a month for my expenses. All right. That's just par for the course. As you get on the road, we're losing connection here. Let's just wait a second. See if we get it back.
I can hear you. All good on my end. You still there? Are you muted, or can you hear me?
Hi, Brett's gone.
Brett's disappeared. We'll carry on without him for the moment. So Do you? Yeah. Look, I think for yourself, have you got like social media accounts or anything set up for this yet?
I have an Instagram account, and my Facebook is private.
Okay, so you got to unprivate your Facebook because you got to be putting yourself out there into the world, right? But one of the first things you got to do is, as we were saying, find a couple people that you can work closely with, and that you can, if you can trade this for something or whatever, or explain to them, hey, this is the idea. I want to offer you these sessions for free because I want to turn this into a business. So in return, I'll write a blog about it, or I'll do these different bits. Sorry, one sec. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure if it was my headphones that were making the weird background noise.
Because it's static.
Yeah. Yeah. So start with that. Okay. And what I would do is I'm going to look you up on Facebook as well. And I'm going to add you, and we will.
I don't think you can. I've set so much privacy settings, so you can't get to me.
I think you're wrong. Because we're in the group together, I think I've just found you and sent you a link, sent you a request. So look, start there. Get that. If you get that really, really clear, think about your like vision, mission, values as your foundation. Then what we need to do is go, okay, right now, you're the CEO, you're in charge of every department, right?
Yeah.
Marketing, the fun stuff you can start to do first because you're at the very beginning and it all needs doing. So like the content, everything about your offering, okay? We can look at doing a one-page sales pitch, because you need that, right? That's something that you're going to need. You're going to want to, and to think about how, for example, you can start to look at, marketing this to people. You could offer people a one free session, right? Where you say, I'll do one session free. And then what you want to have is at the end of that free session, your sales pitch or your pipeline to get them into purchasing your 6-week program, right? So we'll create that, we can help you create that sales funnel. The most important part you already have, which is the big vision and the thing that you want to do that's bigger than you. The rest you can start to piece together. Do you have any questions about?
No, that's really helpful, because I've been wanting to do this and I kept not doing it because I didn't even know where to start, and you've given me some ideas about what I can do, what action I can start taking. Like I can create a blog, and I can start using Instagram and Facebook more, and start thinking about like my mission, my values, and that. So sometimes I think we just don't go for it because there's that fear of like I can't do it. So
yeah, we just don't do the hardest part, which is just doing it. You know, that's like so cliche, but I promise you right now, if you got off here and went on TikTok's easy right now to create a following because the way the algorithms work, they want new users to spread out into like Facebook right now would be very, very challenging place to start and try and create an audience, a new audience on Facebook, because the way that the business model is set up is they want you to spend money to speak to people, right? But at this point, if you're like, you can start for free. You can start by coming up with some, I guess, some of your content, like the stuff that you do, right? It like, if it's a guided meditation or if it's some like tell me a little bit about the product. Like tell me what's the one-on-one session like? What would you be doing in it?
Oh, well, heart is about creating heart coherence. And so the inner balance is used as a technology which you use with the phone. And you put the earpiece into your ear, and the monitor basically is looking at your heart rate variability. So tracking it on, you can see in real time as you're breathing what your heart rate is and your heart rate variability. So it's using the technology to show you that you can create heart coherence, but you can create heart coherence without the technology. It's just a particular way of breathing and thinking positive emotions, which creates heart coherence.
Okay. So what I would start to do is, okay, so get really clear on your vision, mission, values. Find a couple people that you're going to be able to do some freebies with. Set up your account. What's the name of your coaching? What is it?
I don't have a name.
What? Okay, come up with that. You know, come up with your name, because you here. Look at this. You got in the chat here. I would love to be a guinea pig and write a testimonial on my experience. Happy to exchange for some hypnotherapy too, if that's of interest. So clearly reach out to Matt. Obviously, I was going to do it privately, but I was going to do the same thing and say, hey, I could trade you some, you know, give you some coaching in return, and you can use me as a guinea pig too. But hey, Matt and me, she's empowering the divine feminine. So can you empower my divine feminine? Is that possible?
I can't hear you. Sorry.
Can you do this on?
Last
Can you
sentence?
do this? Can you do it on males? Does it work on males?
Hello?
Hey.
We got you.
I can hear you, Brett.
Yeah, we can hear
Not
you.
Andy. I can't hear
You
Andy.
can't hear him.
Can you ask her for me?
Andy was asking, I think we're just having different connection issues here and there. Andy was asking, is it just for women? Can men learn to balance their feminine energy as well?
I guess so. I just feel more comfortable with women.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like I just need to work with people I feel really connected with. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so,
okay. Well,
Fair
so then,
you know, I know it's specializing. And also when you do the nutrition and aspects, there's such a big difference between, you know, how
sure.
all the hormones and everything that affect men, and you know, to create a plan for men, and you know,
yeah,
I think it would be much harder for me. I think as a woman,
I think it's great to
help
stick
other
with a
women who are
niche.
my age much better.
I think it's great to stick with a niche as well. Okay, well, look, I think because of where you're at, it's awesome, because there's just so much, like, you know,
I can't hear Andy.
I can hear you, Andy, but it's not getting through to Shah.
Maybe what to tell her that what we'll do is I've already
we just
added
go back
her
out
on.
and go back in.
She's going to reboot.
Yeah, cool.
Maybe
So I
get
think
rid of that clicking sound too.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. It's great. She's at the very, very beginning. We can do a great case study on her thing and hopefully push her into pull the trigger, take the action, and make that step into the mindset. But it's interesting, hey, to see how even someone, she goes, well, I'm not employed at the moment. I've got this great big vision that I want to do, but it's a little bit scary. So what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go trade my time for money over here for someone else, and then maybe just do this on the weekends. You know, so we got a bit of work to crack her and get her to, because if all she needs to do is make £1,000 a month, that's only a few clients.
Yeah, it's not many.
So maybe we should see.
I think it's better.
Yeah, and that clicking's gone. Good. Oh no, still there. Is there a fan or something near your phone? No.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Andy.
Okay, cool, awesome.
No,
So
there's nothing in my room.
Okay, it might just be
worries.
something through the line. Doesn't matter.
I think it's the internet. It says there was a notice saying internet connection.
Yeah. Look, I love where you're at with your journey. You're at the very beginning of this to turn a great big vision into something that you can turn into your life's work and that can be very profitable for you. So what we're actually planning, and we'll let you know, is we're going to do a 4-hour workshop, right? For people that are in the exact place that you're at, right? And I think it's going to be a really, really cool opportunity to like dive deep and really give you some like practical stuff. And when I say workshop, it's not like we're just going to be like, oh, all this. It's like, no, we're going to give some really, really clear definitions of stuff and work that you're going to take away and be able to do and really dig in and turn this into something. So thanks for jumping in and like putting yourself out there. You're going to need to do that a lot as a coach. So this is really good practice for you. But I've already added you on Facebook. So if you don't mind, just become my friend. And if you have any questions at all, anything, just hit me up. I'm pretty much in this spot working all day long. So
I mean, I kind of feel like I need to get out of my comfort zone, because I've been very private and away from people as well over the lockdown.
Can I give you a task to do then before you do the next section?
Yeah.
Okay. Do a Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Go on.
And
I've been meaning to do.
Well, you've done 2 now.
That was my goal to do.
You've done 2 now, Shaf.
Go do a Facebook Live and speak to your people, because that's and use that as an opportunity to get a few of your clients that you're going to do for free. Say, here's the deal, guys. This is my vision. This is what I want to do. I've got so much that I want to give to you guys out there in my community. Please put your hand up, because right now I'm going to be doing this for free. So now's your chance, right?
Yeah.
And use that as an opportunity to talk about your vision and your mission and what you want to do. Find out who resonates with it. And that will be another step towards you as well, like getting out of your comfort zone, putting yourself out there. So kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Try the technology out, put yourself out there and because what you're going to find is the people that you do this for free for are probably going to become lifelong clients of yours, right?
Yeah.
Because, but any questions before we kick you off, or?
No, that's really awesome. I mean, it's been a bit of a surprise. I wasn't expecting this at
Yeah.
all. So yeah, it's really. I'm just really grateful for your support.
Yeah. If you send me a message on Facebook, I've already got something in mind that to send you to help you bulk out that stuff we just already talked about to get really clear on before you go out on and do your Facebook Live, so that you're going to have some stuff in front of you that you're like, I'm so confident with this message. It's so clear that the world needs to hear it, you know?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I have a mission in life and should be doing more than I have been. And I think that I have had a lot of lack of confidence as well in my life. And I think that stems from childhood. I've always felt a lack of confidence in everything. And, so for me, just doing a Facebook Live and, like Brett put that last chat on YouTube, and I was like a bit mortified because I was like, I've been like completely hidden, and like now I'm out in the world.
Don't hide. Don't hide. Put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Okay, really cool to meet you and connect. Looking forward to helping you make this come true.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Shaf.
Bye.
That was pretty fun.
That was cool.
Matt Curtis. Well, I help female entrepreneurs with confidence and overcoming imposter syndrome. Love it. Love it. Hey, man, we're like imposter syndrome's the ultimate one. Yeah. We kind of, that one doesn't seem to ever go away. It's always like, really? Am I good enough? Do I have the skills? Do I have what it takes? Maybe not for
Am
everybody.
I worthy?
Yeah.
Mm.
Is there anyone else that has that like probably we could do another like little 10 minutes on a little quick case study if someone.
What about Matt? What about you want to get on,
Yeah.
Matt? Grab the link. It's just up in the comments a little bit. One thing I was going to say before I dropped out was the whole $1,000. Was it a month? $1,000 a week?
Yeah, $1,000 a month, £1,000
a month, £1,000 a month. Instead of worrying about the pressure of having to make 1,000, it's like, remember, in martial arts, you hit through the target. It's like, all right, well, what if you're making 5,000 a month? And that was just
well. And one of the things to consider, right, is that at the start, because what she's looking at is when we were talking about trading time for money, because it's her right now. This right now, business requires her. Joe Dispenza's got it nailed. He's going, I'm going to get a bunch of people to pay me all at once to learn this. So, where she goes with that beyond trading the time for money is up to her. But if we look at $1,000 over, there's 31 days, that's $32 a day, right? All she needs to do is do one session a day, because I'm sure that she can charge £32, right, for a session, right? So if she only needs £32 a day, okay, and she gets 6 sessions out of each client, then really, I mean, she could be doing this, could become her full-time job easily, right? Because like, I think 32's cheap if you were to do it like that. But even if she did it at that price. So she only needs 5 clients a month, 5 clients per month, 5 clients per month for 12 months, 60 clients a year. Or increase the lifetime value of the client. And instead of just charging, or well, for one, double the price. Okay, now I only need 30 clients. Okay. Actually, instead of doing 6 sessions, I'll do 12. We've cut the amount in half. You know what I mean? We just changed the numbers based on her offering, and there's no reason, if she's got this skill set, she has this investment that she's made in herself, and she can offer that to someone else. I mean, if she was in Byron Bay, she could be charging $150 an hour for that.
Easily. Yeah.
And we live in a fully connected world right now, so there's no reason that she can't do this online, over the screen,
for people in Byron Bay. Yeah.
for people anywhere. So
Anyway,
did Matt Curtis want to come on and?
Maybe not.
No. Well, did you have any kind of anything else? I mean, it's amazing that we don't come up with any agendas or things that we're going to cover, and we just go, and then it's 2 hours. Anything you wanted to sort of touch on? Oh yeah, as I mentioned to her, I guess I let the cat out of the bag. We're going to do a 4-hour workshop. I think we talked about doing it for $14, which is super, super cheap, right? Just to, only because we wanted people doing it that were really keen on actually investing. Because if you give someone something for free, they don't really put value in it always. So they might go, yeah, I'll turn up for the 4 hours and see what these guys, how they can help transform my life and give me the business owner's mindset and apply it in a real life scenario. But it's and like more than doing that $14 4 hours to make money. It was like, this is actually for you to prove that you are going to give some value in it. I would say, by the way, for what was it? Is it Sharif? Shaf's for free. She's a freebie.
Yeah.
She's in the 4-hour session for free. But really, it's about having the tools to make the leap, if you so desire. If you have a vision that's big enough that you think needs to come into the world, and you need to make the leap from trading your time for money to leveraging other people's time to help you create universe-changing business, company, whatever, then start with the $14 investment in yourself. Even if you already have a business or you're working for yourself in any of that, I promise you're going to take away some killer stuff that you'll actually be able to apply the next day or the same day, and find an increase in sales, or find that the clients you currently have are willing to pay you a little bit more because there's an extra offering that you've already got, that you don't have to spend a month creating to give them. So yeah, we'll post the details of that soon in the group, and anyone that's interested. And even if people go, I have a great job and I don't want to change it, they're more than welcome to join in, because they're going to leave with some other stuff that's also just around how to be more of who they are in the work that they already do, which could result in a promotion, a pay increase. And if you're already there and created all the financial freedom that you want, and you've peaked out, we take donations. You can just
Yeah. buy a t-shirt,
buy a t-shirt.
you at least get something back for that. You get something to take home. You get the band t-shirt. I have some healing to do around money and feeling guilty about charging for a service, and advice on how to overcome that.
Yes.
Any advice on how to? Yes.
I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
Been there. Yep. We have advice on that. So if she wants to jump on now, we can cover that before we kill it. But otherwise, she's got to turn up in the. She's got to come and do the workshop, because one of the sections in our workshop is called Overcoming Self-Sabotage. And what you're doing right there, honey, is self-sabotage.
Sabotage. Maybe you should chat to Shaf and become a practice client and strengthen and empower your divine feminine. And what popped into my mind? The Joker. When you're good at right? Are you good at it? Are you good at doing what you do? I bet you the answer is yes. If you really look at how long you've spent doing it, all the times where people have told you how good it is, people have told you, hey, you probably should do this. People would love your service. If you really get into that and highlight those areas in your mind where you're good at what you do, then charging for it should be more than fair when the value that you're giving people. Definitely.
Yeah. And so Lisa, sounds like she's not going to come on right now because she said thank you. I'll look at your workshop. So I wasn't going to let you go without giving you something for that one, because so let's break it down. Some healing to do around money and feeling guilty about charging for a service. So I think
just one thing, Andy, just before you get into that, because there's this, it's almost like a mind virus that goes through the self-help community, your spiritual community. It's like, I'm not allowed to charge for, helping people on a spiritual practice. And it's like, I wonder where that came from first. And I bet you all the people that you've trained under had no problem charging for their workshops or their books.
Yeah. So look, you know what I think the same advice I'm going to give to Lisa is the advice actually that we gave to Shaf, is get really, really clear on your vision, mission, and values. Get really, really clear on the vision that you have that's bigger than you and that's bigger than the world, or that's bigger than your world, right? Once you do that, and you will realize, you will go, okay, I have something that's so big that needs to happen. This needs to be in the universe. And look, I can only control myself. I'm not going to leave it up to anyone else to do this. This is the work I need to do. Then you sit there and you go, well, if I'm not doing this, I have to go and spend my time doing something else for someone else so that I can pay me, so I can do this part-time, so that I can, because maybe I'll donate my time to do this. And you go, but if it's that big and if it's that great of a vision and it's so important to the world, you shouldn't be doing anything but that, or that should be, at least for a period of time, your main focus, so they can really come to fruition. And you have to live. You've got a beautiful young daughter. It looks like in your photo, it's a really tiny photo on my screen. I think you said earlier you were putting your daughter down. Well, I mean, she deserves, for you to get paid for your time, because every time that you are doing that, you're not giving her your full attention, right? So, there has to be a fair trade in the universe. The universe does balance itself out. And as long as you're not like ripping people off or trying to get one over on someone or, doing something shady, people love supporting people. One of my favorite things to do is support businesses that I love and people that I want to see succeed. So I promise you, Lisa, if you get really clear on your vision, mission, and values, the vision, the thing that's bigger than you and that needs to come into existence, your mission, how you're going to achieve it, and then your values, if you get really clear on them, you won't feel any guilt because you go, no, this is how I'm going to behave. This is how I'm going to go on this journey. And if you make all of that really clear and you put all of that up front and you show that to someone before you ask them to pay you, you're going to, the relationship's going to change. So as I said, we're going to talk more about self-sabotage and all that. And, a big part of it actually, Brett, is that a lot of it comes down to some people of just not having a really good sales pitch. And the word sales pitch makes it sound bad, but to have structure around their sales function of their company, when it has structure, and people can see it clearly and they go, oh, all I'm doing is helping these people spend less of their time wondering whether they should or shouldn't. A lot of the times, if you're a business owner or you have a service, your target customer, they want it, they're going to get there. So if you have a really clear path, you can take them down that answers all their questions, gets rid of their worries before they bring them up to you, overcomes all of their objections in the sales process. And so that they're at the end left with going, shit, I've got nothing to do but ask you, how much does this cost? You know what I mean? And that's all a part of a structure that you can learn. That's a skill. We unfortunately won't get to do that whole thing in the workshop, but we'll touch on the importance of doing it. I think we kind of covered some interesting stuff tonight. Anything you had in mind that you wanted to?
Yeah, hang on. I've just got to get my train of thought back. It slipped my mind. I had a few things going on in my head at once. Lisa, I'm going to post up in the group a trailer to a movie that reminds me of the beginning and the journey. It's called Joy. I don't know if you've seen it, with Jennifer Lawrence, but I'll put the trailer in the group for you to have a look at. Have a look at that movie. I think you'll get a lot out of that. What was I going to say? It was really good too. No, we won't know what we're missing out on for me not remembering what I was going to say now. It was really good. Maybe next time.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll come back to you at some point. If it was really good, you'll remember it.
Well, it's just the skills that you learn on this process. That's what it was. It's the sales skills, the people skills. One thing that really ties back in with the spiritual practice is that all these barriers on the edge of your mind that you think, if only I could, but I don't know how, and I don't know if it's possible. When you start to lean in and move towards those areas, even if it's just a thought experiment, what happens is the universe starts to open up and pave the way and unfold to give you the skills, tools, abilities. You just got to lean into it and start to approach that space. And then, what I think we all really want to do, and this comes back to the confidence thing and, breaking through that terrible mind virus of am I worthy, is that you learn all these skills and abilities and tools to be able to actually go through that barrier and make the transition. Like you were saying, Andy, I think I'll just get a job, trade my hours for dollars while doing this on the side, and hopefully that gets enough momentum, and then I can eventually give up this. That's the first idea that people come across because that's all that they can see. They can't possibly see that on a Facebook Live, an impromptu between you and I, someone could get on, throw mud on the wall, and all of a sudden they could be, on their journey, and all these tools and skills, abilities can fall in their lap, and all these opportunities can just start to pop up in front of them just because they're going down that path. And, when we talk about the spiritual journey, that's really what it is. That's, the faith, the leap of faith. It's not even a leap. You just have to lean forward and kind of just prod along and see what's there. And when you get a little thread, pull on that thread and see what's on the end of that, and pull the next one, and just one step in front of the other. And by the time, you have a business and you're earning the money and you've got the lifestyle that you want, not only that's going to be a byproduct, that's going to be like, default because of all the upgrades you've had along the way. Just starting energetic arts and, doing the website and learning about social media and now doing live streams. The skills and abilities I've learned are skills that I've always wanted to learn. I've got books on my shelf all about computer science that I'm still struggling to get through. But the best way to learn is by doing it. And you need a reason to do it. And so, when you talk about getting into spiritual practice, people think it's the mystical experience is what you're going for. But that's just kind of that happens along the way. They're just, little rewards for doing the work. It's all the development that you do.
They're
all
just
the skills
distractions.
Just distractions.
Yeah, they're like, they're like, you're like, oh, geez, like,
All right, that was nice.
Yeah, that was nice. Okay, now back to being an open-hearted, like, kind person that's here for others. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And how far that can go, like how the reality is you're not going to know, where it ends up, and that's a good thing. It's gonna exceed all your expectations. It's gonna blow your absolute mind, and that's why I said, Lisa, if you watch this movie Joy, she starts off, in the place a lot of people are at, where they're just frustrated. They're like, can't see a way through. And then all of a sudden they get the tiniest, subtlest little hint to lean forward. And she just starts running with it and overcoming all the obstacles along the way. And, it's all about business, obviously, but she becomes one of the most successful business women in America. Right. And of course, that's the story, rags to riches, but it's how it happened.
Another great one for me, just that you just made me think of it. That's a story about an empowered woman who had a great big vision and it turned into her amazing career, was the one with Julia Roberts, not Pretty Woman, but where there's the town that's near and it's based on a true. No, it's
Brockovich.
Oh yeah, Aaron Brockovich.
Aaron Brockovich. Yeah.
great film, right? Because that
Yeah.
was a woman that had a great big vision that was like this, like, I need to solve this problem. I need
Yeah.
to, great businesses, great products, like solve problems, right?
Yeah.
So when we go back to Shaft, it's like, okay, there's women who don't feel empowered and they aren't strong. That's a problem. So we got to get out there and solve that, right? She could spend the rest of her life on that journey, right? Like Erin Brockovich when she went, no, I'm not going to put up with that. Remember, she becomes a lawyer and then becomes like this ultimate personality that becomes way bigger than the first little case that she was trying to solve. It's been a lot of fun as usual. We're 2 hours and 20 minutes in, so I'm conscious of not
Where did that go?
just taking up all people's time. But yeah, let's get the information up in the group about our 4-hour workshop. $14. I mean,
It's nothing.
$3.50 an hour. It's pretty good. And yeah, man, thanks again for setting this up, for all of your insights. I think I'm inspired just by Shaft just putting her hand up and jumping on and going, wow, we could be onto something huge here with her. Right? So
yeah. And just getting in the hot seat like that, having the courage to go first is it's hats off to her for that. And sometimes she's probably not aware of this, but I know that there's people that are going to see this down the line and they're going to be like, I'm just like her. If she can do it, I can do it.
Yep.
So
cool, bro. Anything else you think we need to touch on, or we can wrap it up?
I think we can wrap it up. Look, we'll be back next week anyway. We can keep going. We'll just keep rattling on and see how that goes. So join us, if you're still watching, join us all again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And last week we did a follow-up the next day. Do you want to do that again, Andy, or if you got time or not while we're here?
I'm going to look this week, probably not, because Friday I go into a silent retreat. Friday, and so tomorrow night will be with my wife that, because then I'll be pretty occupied for 5 days just in the zone. So give her a bit of attention tomorrow.
Yep.
If she wants it. And she might be like, hey. And then if so,
I'm good.
We'll jump on. But otherwise, let's aim for next week.
All right, cool. And look forward to seeing a new Andy next week. This is the before shot. Let's see what remains and what's gone. Next week.
See what I can burn off, or just take away. Yeah. Okay.
All right, thanks, Andy.
Great to chat, man.
Awesome.
Fantastic. You. May all beings be well and happy.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for your attention, and bye for now. See you all in the next video.